Hey guys, Mr. White here. This video is going to be looking at fractions, focusing on understanding comparing fractions. It's important to remember that a fraction is an equal part of a whole. Our top number is called a numerator, our bottom number is called a denominator. A denominator is how many equal pieces our whole has been split into, whilst our numerator is how many of those pieces we have. When thinking about fractions, we need to consider the whole. That might be a whole cake, pizza, car, person, anything. And it's important to remember that the size of the whole can change. Here I've got a whole square. I've now made half of my square red. Half as a fraction is written as 1 over 2, with the numerator as 1 and the denominator as 2. This means that the square is split into two parts, and one part is shaded. Two halves make a whole. I have now made a quarter of my square blue. A quarter as a fraction is written as 1 over 4, with 1 as the numerator and 4 as the denominator. 4 quarters make one whole. I have now shaded an eighth of my square green. An eighth as a fraction is written as 1 over 8, with 1 as the numerator and 8 as the denominator. 8 eighths make one whole. So here you've got all of those fractions laid out. We've got halves, quarters, and eighths. And now you can clearly see that there's 4 quarters in a whole and 8 eighths in a whole. So here are some fractions expressed on a fraction wall. This shows really clearly what you have hopefully already started to notice, that the larger the denominator, the smaller the fraction gets. This is because the whole is having to be split into more equal parts. A third, which is 1 over 3, the yellow bar in this case, is split into 3 parts, whilst a sixth, 1 over 6, would be split into 6 parts. Therefore, the fraction has to be smaller. What's more, you can actually see on the fraction wall, as the denominators are getting bigger, the parts of the fractions, the parts of the whole, are getting smaller. 1/3 is smaller than 1/2. 1/4 is smaller than 1/3. 1/5 is smaller than 1/4, and so on. What's important to remember, the bigger the denominator, the bigger the bottom number, the smaller the fraction. So in real life, a pizza shared between 2 people, they would get this much each. But a pizza shared between 4 people, each person gets less. The same whole pizza shared between 8 people equally means they are getting even less. Side by side we can see the 2 fractions, and you can see the bigger the denominator, the smaller the fraction.